Hey folks, Larry Capetto here with some thoughts about the upcoming election. There's a lot being said right now on both sides, and I think sometimes it gets overwhelming. It gets confusing, causes a lot of anxiety, and some people it causes fear. But today I don't want to talk about the candidates. I don't even want to mention their names. What I want to talk about today is good versus evil, and what I've learned through my work with the military veterans about D-Day. Now, we think of D-Day historically of the Normandy invasion in France when the Allied troops landed in France on June 6, 1944. That's the biggest D-Day title, if I could say it like that, that we know of. On February 19, 1945, the Marines, U.S. Marines, landed on Iwo Jima. That was D-Day. Throughout World War II, there are many invasions, and they would designate that as D-Day, the landing day, the day they initiated the operation. But many months and even years go into planning these operations. And what we're seeing today is the fruition of our D-Day, if I can say it like that. D-Day, November 5th, 2024. Now folks, let's just put on our common sense caps for a minute, okay? I'm not here to promote either side. I'm here to say that we as Americans, if you call yourself an American, we have a responsibility. And if you're not a registered voter, I'm going to encourage you to vote. 3 years ago, I said I'm not going to vote anymore. But you know, if I was the enemy, that would be my strategy, to beat us down so much that we just wouldn't go out and vote. So the few people that do vote will vote for the wrong person, and bing, communism. Okay? But I want you to pray about the election. I really do. Even if you're not a believer in the Bible or in God, I think you need to pray, because we are in a situation now where depending on what happens, it's going to go one way or the other, folks. And I have come to appreciate and am eternally grateful for the freedoms that we have in this country. I've been doing my work with our military veterans almost a quarter of a century, and I've learned two things. Freedom is not free, and war is hell. Nobody wants war, but sometimes we have to fight a war to keep the freedoms that we have. We've been so blessed. When we sing God Bless America, it's just like a song. No, there's a lot of meaning, a lot of blood was shed for songs like that. The Declaration of Independence, many of those people that signed that Declaration of Independence were killed or died shortly afterwards. It took years to really live out our freedom from England. Our Constitution, the U.S. Constitution. These are guides, these are focal points and gauges for us as we go forward into this election. And I'm going to challenge you to just look around your life. Let's start with you and your family, your community, your city, your county, your state, nation, and even the world. Look around and ask yourself a question. How are things going? Unless you're sheltered or cloistered somewhere where you can't be reached, it affects all of us, folks. It's on a spiritual level, on a physical level, emotionally, it affects all of us. Ask yourself the question when you go to the store, how are things going? When you drive down the road, when you go to the gas pump, how are things going? When you look around at the construction in your communities, the schools, the education, what's being taught in the schools, what are kids learning today? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you experiencing yourself and your family? These are the things we need to focus on, not this candidate, this candidate. And I'm going to tell you right now, if the only reason you're going to vote for one or the other is because you hate the other, wrong. That is so wrong. You may have a strong dislike or disagreement, but this thing called hate, it's not going to cut it, man. And I know people that are going to vote for one candidate because they hate the other, or vice versa. You need to vote your conscience, you need to vote your heart, and you need to realize that this decision day is coming up in 30 days from this message that I'm recording this evening. 30 days to go. It's here. I want you to look around. Turn off the left and the right. What do you think? What do you think? Make up your own mind. What do you think? As you prepare for D-Day, November 5th, as you prepare, what do you think? What do you feel? If you're a believer, if you're a Christian, a Jew, a Protestant, Catholic, Jew, whatever religion, what's in your heart? What are you feeling right now? How do you think things are going? Realizing that your vote counts and that it can affect what's going to happen. I never really wanted to get involved in politics, government, and all that. Just let somebody else do that. That's the problem. Somebody else has done that, and look at where we're at today. Look at where we're at today. If you really openly and honesty, apart from peer pressure, apart from the media, which I despise for the most part, there's some good reporters out there still. But overall, it's become very biased. It's not objective anymore in the mainstream. Apart from that, what do you think? As you lay your head on your pillow at night and go to sleep, what do you think? What do you think? You must vote. I'm just going to say that. If someone told me that 2 years ago, I'd say, go take a hike. We must vote. But folks, you need to really ponder who and what you're voting for. Senate seats, the House of Representatives, Congress, Supreme Court judges, local administration judges, law enforcement, whomever, whatever, both sides. You need to really do some homework here. This is your preparation for D-Day. You need to do some homework on those propositions that you're going to vote yes or no on, and understand that it's usually a handful of people that try to make the decisions for the majority. I'm prayerfully going forward the best I can. I'm not perfect in it, but I have a good sense on what's good and what's evil. Now, that's what got Adam and Eve in trouble in the Garden of Eden. The devil says, did God really say you shouldn't eat from that tree of the knowledge of good and evil? He knows that when you eat of that, you're going to know good from evil, and that's exactly right. But God also said in the day that you eat from that tree, if you eat, you're going to start to die. They died spiritually, and then physically they died. God sets before us life and death, and He tells us to choose life. He tells us to choose life. In the Bible, that's what the Bible says. If you don't believe in the Bible, okay. But still, you have a conscience, you have a heart, you have a mind, you have a will, you have intellect, emotions. What are they saying to you? When all the noises are quieted, when all the voices are quieted, when the left and the right are quieted. This is not about a candidate right now. This is about you and what you're going to vote for. I'm not even telling you what to vote for, other than I'm presenting before you, like God did, good and evil. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? You know good from evil. You know good from evil. In the quiet moments of your life, you know good from evil. And I'm asking you to please, and I pray that you would make the right decisions. D-Day, November 5th, 2024. God bless you.